At the end of September 2022, the Mercedes-Benz Group had 113 billion euros, or around about 125 billion US dollars in debt. However, that's a massive reduction from the debt they had 1 year before that of 131 billion euros, making them one of the top 10 most indebted companies on the face of the earth. However, because it now has a cash reserve of 15.7 billion, its net debt is less at around 97.2 billion. Currently, Mercedes-Benz Group has liabilities of 90 billion falling due within 12 months and liabilities of 89.3 billion due beyond that. That's a lot of money. But offsetting this, it has 15.7 billion in cash and 6.94 billion in receivables that are due within 12 months. So that means its liabilities total more than 157 billion over the combination of its cash and short-term receivables. Now, this deficit casts a shadow over this 72 billion euro company, like a colossus towering over mere mortals. It's a lot of money. So I recommend watching their balance sheet very closely if you're invested. I mean, after all, Mercedes-Benz would require a major recapitalization if it had to pay its creditors today. There would be big problems. Fortunately, it doesn't. But the thing is, a business needs cash flow to pay off its debt. Accounting profits just don't cut it. Now, considering the fact that the electric revolution is here, and by 2030, well, the winners and losers will have basically been well and truly decided, we can see now whether or not Mercedes' debt will hang a noose around its neck. However, the thing is, it's actually electrifying its fleet much quicker than investors and pundits, myself, anticipated they would. In fact, its EV sales are up more than 200% in the US over the past 12 months. And this signals one thing for Mercedes-Benz. It is ahead of its rivals. Not Tesla, but the others. It should be pretty clear now that Mercedes-Benz are the least likely automaker in Germany to go bankrupt. Why? Well, they have a plan. Yes, they've been slow, but they're definitely headed in the right direction, as we can see from their recent sales figures in their most important car market. Hello, my friends, and welcome to the channel. I'm the Electric Viking. My name's Sam Evans. You're probably thinking to yourself, what do you mean their most important car market? Well, it's true, China was their most important car market last year. This year, we just have to accept reality. There's zero chance that Mercedes-Benz can maintain market share in China. No one can that's not Chinese or Tesla. That's the truth. That's just the way it is. However, that means that Mercedes-Benz will prioritize North America, meaning Canada and the United States, because that is their second most profitable car market. Now it's their first, because it's simply inevitable that they'll continue to lose market share in China. And the reality is here, Mercedes-Benz do have a good plan. Will that plan work out in China? Probably not. They've just been too slow for that market. But will it work out in the rest of the world? I think it will. They're saying they're going to be EV only in 2030. Now, the German media have criticized them on a fair few occasions. In fact, very, very vocally, saying they're too all EV. Seriously, German media, I've read this on numerous occasions now. Mercedes-Benz are making a big mistake. This is a big risk for them because they're going all in on EVs. And I mean, not everyone wants to buy EVs, but that's 2030. That's still nearly 7 years away. And if you have a look at the Mercedes-Benz investments, they've been investing 3 times as much money as Tesla into R&D. Now, yes, not all that R&D has been on electric cars. That's true, unfortunately for them, but a lot of it has. And it's starting to pay dividends. Mercedes-Benz all-electric car sales increased by 88% in the first quarter of 2023 in the United States. And that means that 1 in 10 of their car sales in the US are fully electric. Mercedes-Benz reported 504,000 global car sales during the first quarter of 2023. That's 3% more than a year ago. Not the result they were after, not the result they were looking for. There's no question that they would tell you that themselves, but it could be worse. Some car manufacturers are down. The overall results are only slightly better, but all electric car sales are doing very well. In Q1, Mercedes-Benz cars had 51,600 electric vehicle sales. That's an increase of 89% versus the same period 1 year ago when they had 27,400. Big improvement here. And that's more than 10% of their total volume compared to 6% a year ago. In fact, they're one of the 3 best automakers now, legacy automakers, in terms of their EV percentage of sales. More than 1 in 10. In fact, puts them right at the top of the group. You've got to give Mercedes some real big credit for this. They've absolutely changed direction very, very quickly in a way that I think should surprise us. And it's really something that BMW could look to. I mean, Audi is saying the same thing now. They're saying 2030 EV only. Mercedes-Benz 2030 EV only. BMW, not the case at all. BMW is still betting on hydrogen. They won't say that too vocally, but the CEO has said he still believes hydrogen is the fuel of the future. He's saying it might not happen for another 15 years, but it will happen, which is the reason why BMW just revealed their new hydrogen car, which will go on sale. Seriously. The German manufacturer, Mercedes, does not provide details about its plug-in hybrid car sales, but they are clearly focusing on EVs, not plug-in hybrids. Unfortunately, they're still selling quite a few plug-in hybrids, but that percentage of plug-ins versus fully electric cars is continuing to shrink. Why? Because Europeans prefer electric cars. However, if you exclude the Smart brand that Mercedes-Benz own, Mercedes' EV sales have been even more impressive than what I just said. They've actually increased 119% year over year. And they're not coming from a really small base here. They're coming from a decent sized base considering their global sales. So it's a really, really good result. EQ family is expanding as well. EQA, 10,800 deliveries. EQB, 11,200. EQE, 9,400. EQS, 5,500. And other EVs, 14,700. It's really quite a surprisingly balanced sales mix here. I mean, many companies, NIO, for example, ET5, that makes up about 65 to 70% of their sales. Very reliant on that one model. You struggle with one model, maybe your EV sales collapse. Possible. I mean, for example, imagine if Tesla Model Y just, if they couldn't sell any for some sort of reason for a while, it would be tough, right? Mercedes having that even balance of sales between different models, I think, is a good thing, but not too many models. You go the BYD way and it could be too difficult. I mean, trying to have BYD have about 40 electric cars. That's a big challenge to actually get started. They've been amazing at doing that. However, it is difficult to do. Now, total EQ lineup currently includes 8 models. You've got the EQA, the EQB, the EQC, the EQE sedan, EQE SUV, EQS, EQS SUV, and the EQV. Plus, they've got the Mercedes-Benz EQG, which is coming out, and they have an electric van, the Vito. Speaking of the Vito, Mercedes-Benz vans, as per Inside EVs, they had 99,000 sales in the first quarter of 2023. That's big. But it's only an increase, surprisingly, of 12% year over year. However, 3,600 of those were fully electric, which is an increase of 22% year over year. And EVs account for a disappointingly small 3.6% of Mercedes-Benz van sales. Barely increased versus 3.3% last year. Clearly, electrification efforts haven't been around vans, they've been around passenger cars. The van lineup includes the EQV, which is counted in the passenger car sales because it's an actual passenger car. The others, though, are more commercial type vehicles. You've got the e-Sprinter, the e-Vito, the e-Vito Tourer, and the EQT e-Citan. In the US, though, things were even better. Mercedes-Benz more than tripled EQ sales in the first quarter of 2023. Mercedes-Benz reported 61,531 car sales in the US during the first quarter. That's a 1.2% decrease over 1 year ago. However, if you include van sales, the total sales numbers were 75,701, still a slight decrease of 0.3%. Mercedes-Benz all-electric car sales more than tripled and reached a new record of 7,341, which is an increase of 251% year over year. That is 12% of total passenger car sales. So worldwide, Mercedes-Benz is at nearly 11%. In the US, they're at nearly 12%. And clearly they're planning on expanding EV production in the US as quickly as possible. Why? It's the most important car market. That's the first reason. The second reason is because their cars qualify Those that are made in the US qualify for EV incentives. And Mercedes-Benz already make EVs in the US. If they can increase production, they can start stealing sales away from some of their competitors. If you have a look at the list of electric cars that qualify for the IRA incentive, there's not very many. If Mercedes-Benz can start making some more affordable EVs, as in under $80,000 in price, they'll be able to disrupt much of their competition. Now, if they can go from around 3.5% of their sales being EV in the US to 12% in the space of 1 year, what can they do in one more year? 20%? 30%? I mean, realistically, Mercedes-Benz could be EV only in Europe and the United States by 2027. It is realistically feasible. As you can see, it's very likely Mercedes-Benz are going to get through this crazy disruption we're going to see over the next 5 years. It's going to be mental, but I think Mercedes-Benz, it's safe to say, won't be appearing on the Electric Viking channel saying they're about to go bankrupt anytime soon. Let me know what your thoughts are in the comments. Thank you for watching.